Yeah. Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Change Your Lives. Hosted by your boy, Deonte Burden. We got a great show planned for you guys tonight. Tonight we're talking about breaking the mold, black fathers versus society expectations. Again, black fathers versus society's expectations. And I wanted to have this conversation because you got a lot of stigmas and a lot of negative views in regards to black fathers. And me being a black father, divorced black father, and upon my divorce, two of my kids were grown and two were minors, and those minors stayed with me. They went to my ex-wife on the weekend, and it's whatever form of joint custody that is, but 5 days a week as opposed to two, and everything. And it's not there ain't no knock on my ex-wife, but yeah, but with that said, it was a difference. And I had to actually, and it's not a knock on her, she's a great mother, but I had to get used to that by myself. So I had a big learning curve with that. And I want to have a conversation because there's a very big negative stigma again with black fathers. And so I just want to have again this conversation tonight again, black fathers versus society's expectation. Again, it's Change Lives. Hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. We're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. The main hub is the Changing Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden YouTube channel, where we have over 1,000 videos. You can, if you're looking at TikTok and Instagram, you can probably Google Deonte Burden, and the link and all that stuff will pop up. Especially if you go to YouTube, put it in the search. But we got a good show. And I really want to, guys, if you got any questions, any comments and everything, feel free to put them in the chat. But also you can actually call in at 678-740-9894. Again, the call in number 678-740-9894. Before we get started, I want to say what's up to my awesome producer, DJ Lab.
What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, best day of the week, baby. Tax time.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday. It got cold on us, though. It got cold on us. What's this Georgia weather going to do for us, man? Last week, it was summertime. We was in T-shirts and shorts. Now this week, we got to put on coats and scarves. What's going on?
Hey, man, get your mind right. My grandma used to say pneumonia weather.
That's right, pneumonia weather.
That was my grandma used to say. Also, what's up to my other producer, Slick 316. What's up, Reek?
What's going on, Reek?
Hey, man, just want to also give you guys an early happy Valentine's shout. Early.
It's not early, it's tomorrow.
It's early, that's what I'm saying.
Hey.
So if you ain't got that, go and stop on the side of the road.
Hey, I forgot it was Valentine's Day weekend. I went to Walmart yesterday, and Walmart was so crowded. Everybody buying those crusted roses and cards and balloons. One lady was putting balloons from the Dollar Tree in her car and trying to get the balloons in and let the whole bunch go. Yeah. So they went up to because they were helium, so they went up to the sky.
Po thing.
All these heart balloons.
Boy, you get to go and find them folks on the road. Ladies be selling them baskets on Bankhead. They got the Bath and Body, a little shot of Hennessy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Mom, happy Valentine's Day.
What's up, Mama?
Hey, Mom.
Oh, yeah, we took Mama out this past weekend for her birthday.
Oh, that's right.
She said, y'all stop fronting on me and Mr. Charlie.
Happy birthday. We're going to say happy birthday to you. I would, but I don't want to shut the internet down. Happy birthday, belated birthday, Mom.
We had a good time on my birthday, man. But tonight's show, man, I thought about it a lot, and I was kind of just getting the shows together. Again, we're talking about black fathers versus society expectations, just breaking the mold. When you hear one of the big things I remember thinking about over the years, and I'm just thinking myself as a young father, it was the scrutiny that coming on in regards to black fathers. And I remember on the radio one time, it was Chuck Smith who played for the Falcons. He was on Frank and Wanda's show. And they were talking to Chuck, and Chuck was saying, they were talking about father. They're just going on a damn rampage. You hear these women. They were talking about it, guys. And Chuck said something that really stuck with me. This damn, probably 15 years ago. He said, yeah, y'all black men need to step up. And see, the thing of it is, this the issue. And I truly believe this. What's going on, Pookie? Appreciate you tuning in. One of the biggest things I think people don't realize, I really believe men don't get sorry overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand you have different situations, how things go out. Usually, if a guy, I think a lot of stuff, and we're gonna be real. Now, like I said, everybody, y'all feel free to leave comments in the chat, but I'm gonna be pooching now, But I think a lot is attributed the from what I've seen, not always, from what I've seen, the involvement usually what a man have with their children is usually based off the involvement he had with that woman.
Mm-hmm.
If there was in a relationship didn't work, they have some kind of dealings.
Right.
One night stand, didn't want to have it, popped up, you just don't want to deal with it.
Right,
wrong, indifferent. That's usually kind of how it happened. Typically, the way their interaction was, that they were together, married, boyfriend, girlfriend, kicked it for a little bit, he cared about her. That's it. It was something that happened. They weren't supposed to happen. He had this, that, and that. Typically, that's kind of what I've seen in my life for 8 years. Typically, how that goes with doing it. Like I said, right, wrong, indifferent. I say all that to say that even cats that I've known to make a care that, like, look, he was a cat that just, might have been a good guy, but listen, he didn't work, he didn't do this, that, and that, and all this other kind of stuff. You can't have expectations of somebody turning to Cliff Huxtable because now a baby there.
Right.
Because we can sit there and say, well, look, man, you got responsibility, you got a child, this, that, and that. If they was already sorry, they was already sorry. Like, I'm just saying the baby sometimes can make somebody, more mature. And a lot of times when we see, if you are a man, your children do kind of inspire you to do more.
Right.
But if you typically don't give a damn rolling out the bed in the morning, you know what I'm saying? That's just how that usually doesn't change.
I believe, and this is coming from someone who doesn't know his father. I've said it many times. And being married young and having children at 18 and being married at 18. I believe the majority of black men do try to take care of their children. I think we have a stigmata of society that likes to portray black men not being in their children's lives. But I believe that majority of black men want to take care of their children, and they are in their children's lives in some type of way. I don't know, like you said, good, bad, and different, but they do try to be in their children's lives in some kind of way. Now, I'm not saying all.
70% lamb. Now 70% of black. Now I ain't saying the 7. Now you ain't say all.
Right.
But you think 50% of that 70% do?
Well, I think
I ain't say love them.
I
think most. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut y'all, bro.
I think most black men love their children. Now when you deduct the one night stands and all this other stuff that may go with it, that does not mean, if a father was with a child and with their mother and there was a nasty breakup, now the mother don't want that child see the father or whatever the case may be, when you have other dynamics that's inside of that relationship, I still believe the majority of the black men love their children. Now, how they get at their children, how they spend time with their children, they may feel like it's difficult to do so. Now, I'm not trying to give them a pass because, I'm not trying to give them a pass, but I do want us to get past the stigma of that black men don't take care of their children. Because to be honest with me, all the black men that we have down here at this show, all the black men that I've met over the years, were in their children's lives, did take care of their children, were very good fathers, regardless if they were with their mother or not. So from my experience, I haven't experienced any black fathers that wasn't in their children. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just haven't experienced it. Maybe that's because I hang around quality black men who want to be better than today than they were yesterday. But at the same time, I still believe if I meet someone else, they may still that they will want to be in their children's life. Children change the dynamic of a person's reality. You know what I'm saying? It changes how you are as a person, because because out of all the people that you know, out of all the people you deal with, you know that child loves you. And for a father or a mother to damage that child, to feel like they're hurting that child. Now, there's some evil people out there. Don't get me wrong. Now, you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to say that there's not evil people that do wrong things to children. But what I'm saying is that I believe that we get the stigma of being bad parents and deadbeat dads because it has been handed down from generation to generation. We could start back when the social welfare program started, and they told that black mother, you got to get that father out this house for us to help you. Those things don't just go away overnight. They didn't start overnight.
Yeah, and in all honesty, we're probably the only people that actually talk about it in public.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey guys, I want you guys to do me a favor. Whatever platform you're looking at, I want you guys either call in 678-740-9894 or put in the chat some of the myths that you've heard about Black fathers, some of the misconceptions, or what you feel. There is a generalization that, hey, what you feel about Black fathers. Please put that in the chat, put that in the comments and everything, so we have discussions with that. But again, guys, if you want to call in, feel free to call in 678-740-9894. Again, that's 678-740-9894. I couldn't pin the number on Instagram. I don't know why I couldn't, but you'll be able to pin it in. But again, we're talking about some of the Black fathers versus society's expectations. I thought Laugh hit it on the head. I do think a lot of times men actually care about the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like you said, the actual rolling out on how their relationship, they do certain things,
right,
that may vary. I do think that what gets caught up a lot, because I've seen it too many times, that what get confused is the relationship with the mother getting confused with the actual interaction they need to have with their children.
Right.
Well, because I've heard women even say that, hey, well, we'll leave.
Mm-hmm.
The hell you mean we?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I ain't gonna sit here, but I'm still saying I kind of heard that when I was going. We ain't going nowhere. They saying, hell, you get the hell on. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I remember that here. I remember that boy 4-5 years. I can be honest.
Right.
I heard that bullshit. Like, we gonna go. Me and we gonna go. No, we ain't going shit.
Right.
You can go. And I think a lot of times, that is a leveraging tool, not to make a man, not to hold a man in a funky spot, because you can see early, it's a man. I understand. Look, they want that woman. They might give a damn about their children. Right. I believe that.
Right.
But I do believe a lot of times when people see it ain't working, men and women on both sides, when they may want to leave out a situation to make the other person uncomfortable, right? Because we gotta be honest. Everybody's not gonna be civil, right? Everybody's not gonna be civil, and I'm gonna leave that alone and let you be you and everything like that. But a lot of times, like, people like, well, look, me and the kids can go. Well, what the kids got to do with us? Like, we ain't working.
Right.
And now that funky dynamic coming in, because, I would say up until the past, I want to say 10, but definitely the past 5 years, there's always been a lot of leverage in regards to women getting custody. But now you got a lot of these 40 and 50-year-old judges. It's different. They were more progressive.
Right.
They believe in joint custody. They believe in father's rights. They believe in women paying alimony. So a lot of things have changed, because, again, a lot of those older judges and stuff, they're out.
Yeah.
And you got people that's a lot more forward thinking. Like I said, in that 40, 50-year-old range, some younger, it's a different dynamic. So women aren't automatically getting what they got before.
Right.
Now that doesn't mean all men fighting to get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Brother trying to keep his money and keep them damn kids. They don't want to pay child support, and I want to keep my car and house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna get all that.
And you're right. There are some men that do that and do think that way. Unfortunately, I don't think. Slick says the children become a weapon to use against the father or each other. They, depending on who has custody. Yeah. And I think sometimes with Black fathers, I think the dynamic of trying to deal with the mother and to see the children sometimes it can be overwhelming. The mother could be just that bad. Like, could be, when the relationship was together, it was great. But now, you never know how a person's gonna treat you until y'all start splitting up. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that evil side comes out then, and every time your father try to see the child, is something, there's an issue, whatever. Until people get tired, they get worn down, and now that he's not trying to make as much effort to see that child. Now he's getting labeled as deadbeat.
There are a lot of conversations that are had once kids get to a certain point where they can process and understand. Because, like, say, because you done try to do this, they couldn't work, and they go from both sides. Mom got a story, daddy got a story, and I think a lot of times as a child, you may not necessarily know what's going on. But to your point, man, Joe can get, look, we fighting this battle I can't win. Let me get up there. I'm not justifying a person quitting,
right?
But I'm just saying there's always a story. Let me grab some of these comments. What's right here? Six Red Bones says some don't like taking care of their kids if they're not with the mother. Is it sad? Also, some just pay child support and never see the kids. Some take care of the girlfriend's kids and not their own. To see this a lot. And you know what, man? That's what we start talking about these things with as far as we talk about black fathers versus society's expectation. I'm going to say this from a school of thought. I think that's true, but I think that's true for men. There's such a we the Asian men, white men, Indian men, and stuff like that. They divorce too, right? They divorce too. You know, they have domestic violence. Right. They have volatile relationships and everything. Like I said, the funky thing with black people, we handle so much of our business in public. Right, in our music, in our videos, in our shows, our movies, you know what I'm saying, and it adds to the stigma, the negative image with it. And we start looking at other things that, especially from a historical and media standpoint, you just brought up, where the men were actually kept away from certain things of a woman, needed public assistance, and it wasn't a woman, the family needed it. But I know I can't make these kind of wages and stuff. Right. Now I got to get out. Those kind of things. Look at the music and stuff. Some of the things and some of the imagery. I think Tyler Perry is a great guy. But again, like I heard him say in the interview, and I understand the business aspect. That's what his fan base likes. Those kind of movies and stuff. Right. So he's gonna make make movies to cater to his fan base. Right. I get that.
But it perpetuates a stereotype.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like. He know that. I don't think it's subconscious, but I think those kind of things about it. Coincidentally, and I ain't saying he a bad brother, but I am saying like, hey, this. You understand the power of that, right? We talked about the show before, that blind influence, where because there's a lot of people that trust Deonte, or they believe Pooch is a good guy. They don't question stuff that I say. Right. If I say that's a bad place to go, or that's not a good man, people gonna take that because they trust Poochie, right? And when a lot of times people have that kind of blind influence on people, folks don't necessarily want to, scrutinize it, right?
That's true.
Most people just, the vast majority of people don't use reasoning. They don't use logic. They don't think, right? I think probably 15% of people use logic. So they say, well, I made my own decisions. People don't bullshit.
Right.
Because a lot of times our decision making is based off what we know. Now, we already ignorant of something. We already, just gonna make an assumption. So if I see it, I think that's it.
That's it, right?
That's just what you've been shown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't think too many people get past that part. And again, tonight we're talking about black father versus society's expectations. How much of what people talk about and believe is something in reality what black fathers are, or just coincidentally, that's some things that happen with men in general, right? And my father wasn't around. Love my daddy, great guy, this, that, and that. I don't have resentment a lot of people have because I think I turned out okay.
Right.
If I didn't, I'd probably be looking a different way. I don't trip on people about certain things, but as a man that has raised 3 grown children and still raising one now, I can understand sometimes when you get older, hey man, listen, this is what to what we talked about before. This is what went down me and your mom.
Right.
And I had a girl, or I had a wife.
Right.
And this happened. Or hey man, your mama didn't want me to see. Those kind of things can be true.
Right.
Or hey, like a lot of people in my generation, look at son, I was on the dope. I was on dope.
Yeah.
And look here, man, it wasn't nothing or whatever on you. I was on the dope or whatever. If they own it, halfway piece it up.
Right.
And that's what, and I'm just saying from that late 80s, 90s era, a lot of us had daddies that was on dope.
Right.
Or mom was on dope. And we really got the brunt of it. It's a thing that really isn't talked about a lot because, a lot of times there's a lot of trauma that's attached to that. But that is, I think, something that impact a lot of people, especially north of 35. When you start talking to people in their 40s and 50s, people want to talk about that. But I just had like somebody close.
Oh yeah, we all. we all had somebody close. My mom used to throw parties like that. But I believe that, like you said before on a couple of shows, you don't know what you're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? 50-50. So like, I don't know my dad. I've never met him a day in my life. I might have met him when I don't know. I don't remember ever meeting him. Let's just put it that way. He may have came by when I was a baby. I don't remember. I can't remember back that far. But I don't know. I couldn't tell you how he looked or what his name is. I used to know his name, but I don't think I don't remember because I didn't have the father issue that most people have. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I've never been a type of person
because you had men around.
Because I had men around. Yeah. I mean, I had 4 uncles, 5 uncles, and 4 aunts, and they all was solid. You get what I'm saying? So I didn't have that issue to where I didn't feel protected or I felt like this or I felt like that because my daddy wasn't around. Now of course my family struggled. We wasn't rich by any means necessary, but we were a family. We had our ups and downs. We struggled with this or trying to eat this day or trying to do this day. But it's just far as a daddy issue. I had a grandfather that was 6'5", 350. Oh man, always talked to me, always showed me stuff, showed me how to do this, play dominoes, whatever the case may be. Wasn't a I love you type person. Yeah. But I knew he loved me. You get what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't a I'm gonna hug you and kiss on you type. That never happened. I never seen it, but I just never had that issue. So when I had my children, the only thing I wanted to do was make sure that they knew that they were mine. You get what I'm saying? So I guess that's where that part came in, because I wanted to make sure my children knew that I was their dad. I didn't want them to guess, like, is that my dad or this my dad? I wanted them to know that's my dad. And he's been here since day one.
You know what? Like what you alluded to earlier, and guys, if you hadn't known, I've always said, when I talk to young men, kids in general, you got a 50-50 chance of having a good parent. Mm-hmm. You don't know. Right? Because let's be real. It's a lot of weak ass daddies out there. Right. That, get ran over, let the kids do anything. That from teaching the kids like accountability, respect, just talk how to, how work. Because my perspective as a parent's job is to prepare your children for society. Mm-hmm. That's your job. Mm-hmm. Now, how you do it and how I do it can be totally different. Right. But my job is to prepare my sons to go out there and deal in the world. To be productive citizen. Respect other people. Mm-hmm. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. People's got stuff going on. Don't steal. Don't kill. Don't do no wrong to somebody else. Take care. That's what I feel like a parent is supposed to do. Now, kid go out there and do what the hell they want to do or whatever like that. Or you see your kid doing wrong, it's addressed, and he didn't do that. Or you pat him on the hand, and they keep bumping their head. Those kind of things. And you can sit here and do all the stuff that you're supposed to do, and they still can make their own decision. Right. But it's a lot of fathers out there that, hey, look, they down. Mm-hmm. They down. Yeah. And again, they can sit here and see the kids stuff. They can use money and like, man, I ain't gonna deal with. Let me just pay for it to get them this, get them that, or blow it off or whatever, cover things up. So presence isn't always actually the key. And I go back again, that's not necessarily a black father thing.
That's a father thing, right?
And that's why.
And I'm sorry, I mean, I think that whole black father thing, I think a lot of this stuff is done by a lot more than just black fathers. We put the stereotype on black fathers, but I think a lot of these issues are father issues. They're not just black father issues. Of course, we get the bad rap. That's just the way it goes. You get what I'm saying? That's the way we get the bad rap, because that's what society sees or society wants, or like you said, songs and the music and TV shows and all that stuff. That's what they perpetuate for us. But I don't think it's just us who does these things.
Well, I will say this, Lab, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you. As a person that coached rec football for 22 years, I will say, outside of the white parks that I coached in, and I coached at North Henry for 12 years. Mm-hmm. That was, so you talking about white or middle class black. You had a couple, the tail end, before Stockbridge became probably predominantly black, and it was just, put in perspective, Torrin was the only black kid in his kindergarten class. Okay. Now, I'm pretty sure damn near 99% of kindergarten class at Stockbridge Elementary are black now. Right. So it's kind of just looking at them dynamics, but there were families, right? So you might see a single mama every now and then, but even the single mom may have been divorced and the father was there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I went to Panhandle, that Lovejoy was all black. Shit, 90% of them women out there by themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you might got a daddy come out there and everything. When I say by themselves, I'm talking about dad might come to a game. They weren't, just they solo dolo by themselves. And I'm talking about that's what I seen majority of the time with that. So
now was the dad at work?
No, hell no. Daddy wasn't nowhere. Daddy, hell no.
Okay.
Daddy might be wherever the hell daddy wasn't there. I ain't talking about when I say this, I'm not talking about the daddy wasn't present that day. Daddy wasn't around.
Okay.
You might every now and then pop, you got the bullshit pop might have stayed out of state, but the majority of the time it was just mama.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Every now and then, because you coach a team, mama might got her rotation.
Right.
Here's the August boyfriend, the September boyfriend, October boyfriend.
Right.
Then you might got an old man that probably buy their school clothes. He come out there and watch the game. So I see how this shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yeah, my friend, coach. Yeah, my friend, coach.
Right.
I've seen a lot of damn friends. So I say that part, you saying I get a little pushback with that, Lab, because I don't think majority have the daddies around.
Mm-hmm.
Again, now the ones that are there, and I'm just going to speak for myself. I'm very adamant. I think we have a small fraternity, and then when I say that, I'm talking about involved black fathers that are actually there, and where you can sit here and kick stuff at, because what we gotta understand, just I don't care when you're a daddy, you can look at depending on what you had. I had my granddad that was a no nonsense man, but he was from an era where pretty much they did every damn thing.
Everything, yes.
They came home.
Right.
They had a baby outside.
You ain't know about it. Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't have it in my house, but you talking about it wasn't that uncommon. But from that era, domestic violence, alcoholism, whatever. Now they were men.
Right.
They worked, paid the bills. To your point, you might not get no, hey son, this, that, and that, just talking to you and stuff like that. It was just a different era.
It was very different.
And I say that to say that a lot of times when you get in the wheel of being a father, shit, it's just you got a whole different rainbow of OGs that you can go to and just say, hey, let me kick this at you, let me run this by. And I've always kind of credited myself to being the type of person that if I see you doing something I wanted to do, I approach you. Hey man, how you do this?
Right.
I don't know Dwayne look at shows. Dwayne Davis, man. His son Aaron played at UGA. He graduated with Torn. He played on the national championship game. And Dwayne had I forgot what he called. I think DJ, his older son Aaron. And I always remember said that he played sports with Torrance when he was little. And Aaron and his brother, they never made a lower than a B. I remember that. Like, straight A's all through elementary, high school. And Aaron, both of them graduated from UGA. They were just and I think his old son worked for NASA. So I'm sitting there saying, hey man, you got a blueprint.
Right.
Bro, what you do?
Right.
I ain't sitting there, I remember, again, we're talking about black fathers versus society's expectations. I remember when Torian got his scholarship to Vanderbilt, and he committed his junior year. And you know what I always stick with me, Larry, and I can have these conversations now. Not one person can even say, hey, D, what y'all do?
Right.
It's just on some old Negro shit. I want to say the other word.
Right.
Well, hey man, his dad at the Booster Club president.
Right.
No. I'm being real with you. And so I always pride myself. Hey man, let me holler at you. What you do? Hey man, these things I did. Now some of the stuff I'm like, nah, I won't do it that way. Or I see brothers getting their kids in school, this, that, and that. Or I see a kid moving a certain way. Hey sir, hey man, hey, what you do with your son here, there, and there?
Right.
And what I found, people that genuinely were doing it, sometimes, like what I always say, when our kids do wrong, we get too much blame. When our kids do right, we get too much credit.
Right.
Some cats be like, man, I ain't did that shit. Hell, I can't read, but son can. Shit, I'm dumb as hell. And my wife here too. Right. So I'm smart. This shit, we like it.
Right.
So I get that part.
Right.
But a lot of times people will be genuinely will share stuff with you, your ass. And I got a lot of game from, some stuff. And some stuff, I tried, didn't work and everything like that. But I always prided myself on reaching out to people that were in a position that I wanted to be in, right? Like, hey man, what you do? And I will say this, Lab, and I'm being brutally honest with you. it's not a big fraternity. When I'm talking about involved black fathers, where you say, hey man, you talk to a cat and they stressing at night, worry about how the hell you might pay if you know how to get your kid in college, or if you got to do this and do that kind of stuff, man. I hope this kid passed his exam. They were studying. I'm talking about stress that ain't got shit to do with you, but you worrying about your child. Right? It ain't a lot of, like I said, and you said it from the get-go, and I'm a firm believer. I think most fathers, period, like, they love their children. They love them. They want them to do well. But their journey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see, bro, especially with football training, they want to make sure the kids in shape and all this other kind of stuff to get a scholarship. But the stuff that they probably not familiar with as far as the academic side,
they stay away from that.
Client side and stuff like that, stay away from it. And usually that's by what I always say, the intention of ignorance. You kind of like hope that shit just fall into place, and it don't, because you ignore it. But it ain't a big fraternity of guys. You can sit here and say, well, hey, like I said, they love them. But when you just say, okay, look, man, you can bump ideas. And, hey, man, what you think about this? Do that. I know a lot of guys that love their children, and I know a lot of guys that provide for their children. But
that 24/7 day a week type deal.
Yeah. But you know what? And I ain't talking about no shit like with custodian. But because it's co-parenting. You got some guys out here, a lot of brothers that are co-parenting, and they're really damn involved. They don't stay with their kids, but they at the conferences, they going to every function. They seeing their asses, out of 7 days, 4 or 5 days out of the week. Even though that, so you got some brothers like that. So I don't want to diminish that, but you also got majority, I think, don't. They love them.
I hate. I hate to say. I don't necessarily want to say that. I get what you're saying, but I think what happens is we see that, and we see more of that than we do the brothers who are solid, like you said, the ones who are generally involved and love their children. We don't see much of that. That's why we don't think there's much of that going on. So if you don't see it or you don't hear it, it's not perpetuated in movies. You don't see it on anything. You don't see it in social media. All you see is this. He don't do this. He don't do that. You generally are going to feel human behavior is going to be like, oh, that's what's going on, because that's all I hear and that's all I see. So they all can't be lying. You get what I'm saying? But I believe that a lot of times the good part, like you say, we get credit when they do bad, and we don't get enough credit when they do good. So it's maybe a case of where black fathers are getting all the bad credit, but a lot of the fathers who do good don't get any of the credit. Even if they stay with the parent or stay with the mother or not, it's just they're just not getting the credit that they probably deserve, because it's to them it's just a part of being a father.
I personally think, my just personal opinion, I don't think a lot of the negative impact should be there, but I do think a lot of it is there. But when I say that, to say, when I say a lot of it, the stuff is in my opinion valid, I don't think it's solely on black fathers, right? I think it's just a lot of cats, they don't work it out. I know. I mean, I was in the army damn 9 years. I seen plenty of white dudes love the kid, get divorced from that woman. They get a whole new damn wife, and they still love the kids, but they rocking with this new kid. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that ain't no shit. I ain't never seen, folks. That's some stuff I seen. Like, hey, we got the new wife, new kids. We're tripping. You guys over there, I love you, but I'm rocking here. Like, so I've seen that plenty of time with white folks, right? So that's the thing about it. It's just when you don't see it, you don't really know. But
you tend not to believe it exists.
Yeah, but here's the deal, though, lad. I go back to it again. We do a lot of that shit to ourselves in regards to saying, he ain't did this, he a deadbeat, here, this, that, and that. When you look at the shows talking about deadbeats and all this other kind of shit, right? When you look at paternity court, what you mostly see?
Exactly.
Black folks. When you see these damn shows, Maury, Steve, and all this other kind of stuff, what's the good dude name? I don't want to say. I forgot his name, man. He
Jerry Springer.
Nah, he's the brother. Be clean cut. I don't want to just say the gay guy, but he is, you know, he is able, right. And he is not a secret,
right,
and everything like that. But he always sharp, real sharp dude. I can't remember his damn name.
Show?
Yeah, he got a TV show. Bald head dude and stuff like that, real sharp. But I mean, that's you know, damn near like I said, the black guy, the gay guy, tall guy, whatever. But that's one of the things you know. But he's most of these black folks on there, they talk about the different the negative stigmas and stuff. But it's not. That's the thing about it, Lab. Like
that's what they want. That's what I'm saying. Like,
who is they?
Society in general.
Hell no, us.
No, I think it's when you said earlier. Now let's be 100 on this. When you said that Tyler Perry says he pushes out what his people want to see,
and that's us, not society.
That is society in general.
No,
that's his societal fan base.
Hell no, Lab. What I'm saying, Tyler Perry. When we talked about on Mr. Short Dollar, right? Their target audience.
Okay.
His target audience is that damn probably 35 to 55 black woman. Okay. That's that ain't damn society. That's that target audience.
Okay.
And he gives to that. I get it. And so I say that to say,
but does he have to? See, that's what I'm saying.
No.
He perpetuates an image of black fathers as a bad. But does he have to do that?
No.
Is that something that he has to?
It's not an issue of have to. I want to do that because I want to make this money.
Okay, I get it. I understand that. But is there a way to transition from that? Because if you keep perpetuating a cycle that is negative, all you're going to think that there is negative.
I don't think there's a care.
Oh, okay.
I don't think there's a care. I'm you know, man, I'm a proud member, 100 black man. I'm very conscious of the shit I do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I ain't perfect. I still got my damn soldier mouth and everything like that, but I'm very conscious about my image in regards because I deal with a lot of young men, young people, and different circles and things I have to go to. So I'm very conscious of the image I'm trying. Ain't nobody had them comment.
Yeah, I got some on here.
Okay, but I'm very conscious about that, Lab. But at the end of the day, like I don't think it's an interest. So I can't. Yeah, how can I put it? And then when we talked about that before, I can't come to your damn house and give you rules on hey, move your table, this, that, and that. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, hey man, you need to have your stuff here.
Hey, put them up.
Man, my daddy came to my house one time. I'm like, you need to put a TV. Dad, you know, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You my dad.
Right.
You know, so those kind of things. You can't so to we say, yeah, you can do this, you can do that. But who am I?
Right.
I understand. You're making a change. Of course, they can do stuff different. They don't give a damn.
Okay.
I don't mean they don't care about people, but again, what they're concerned with is that, right? So if someone's coming to you asking your opinion, hey, bro, what you think I can do different? Well, how we have this? That's a different conversation. But clearly, that's not the case at all. What we got in that Lab?
Let's Talk American Radio says there are some amazing dads out there. My father planted a legacy in me to stay engaged. He wasn't just present, he was involved. Best gift ever. Sabrina Dorsey says, so true. I don't know what she was saying so true, but I'm sorry. We were just running our mouth, Sabrina, but we appreciate you tuning in.
What's up, Brandon? Yeah, man. Now it's real funny, Lab. We start having these conversations again tonight. So we're talking about breaking the mold, black fathers versus society's expectations. Just having a candid conversation in regards to the reality of what black fathers are and some of the myths related to that, and what society expects black fathers to be. Like you see a black father as being Cliff Huxtable, James Evans, or you see him being, what was the damn thing to do? Threw the baby out the window, just some dirty black daddy.
Oh yeah. On Tyler Perry movie.
Tyler Perry. Yeah.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
I want to go back to when you said you usually ask people. See, when I got married, when I had children, I was 18, 19, raising children. And I think, and this goes for a lot of black fathers, when we earn our children live, we try to do the right thing. We're trying to, that's my children. So I'm not really saying I'm doing what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
I generally try to do what my parents didn't do. You get what I'm saying? Like what my mother didn't do, or what my father, who wasn't around, didn't do, or who I didn't know. I tried to make sure my children knew me, and I tried to make sure my children lived a little bit better than I lived. And that's, I think, a lot of us.
Not common, yeah,
right. Well, I think a lot of us do that.
Yeah.
So my thing was, I didn't go ask anybody, because to be honest with you, I was in this when I had my children. When I first had my children, I was in college in Chicago. My ex-wife was down here doing stuff in college. We didn't come together until like 4 or 5 years later. You know what I'm saying? Do stuff. We were still married, but I was doing college there. She was doing college. You know, I had 4 more years to finish my master's. She was starting her nursing degree, so it was a little bit different that way. But once I came here, I was a stranger in a strange land. Yeah. So I didn't know who to ask because I knew no one. I was here by myself with her family.
Gotcha.
And her family wasn't very inviting. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So they wasn't the type of family where I felt comfortable enough to say to her grandfather, well, how you do that? Or how you do this? Or her uncles, because they just wasn't an inviting, maybe just to me, maybe because they didn't know me. Yeah. So they wasn't inviting to me. So I was figuring out as I went along.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of fathers try to figure it out as they go along. And they don't necessarily feel like they have a mentor that they can ask. They may want to ask somebody, but a lot of times you don't want a lot of people in your business either.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up, Larry, because let me get a disclaimer. My roadmap, how I went about things, was just that. That doesn't mean it was the only way or the best way. It was just what I did. And to last point, you ain't always be privy to have OGs. You ain't always going to be privy to, be in a situation where you can talk to certain folks or see certain things or with that. But I do think, we have a conversation like this. It's so important when you get an opportunity to have that, to not necessarily suffer in silence, try to do everything, by yourself and stuff like that. Now, I'm glad you brought that up, Lab, because there are a lot of things I didn't have. I would listen to my ex-father-in-law talk, and here's the funny thing about that. Pop was a cool dude. We don't get along now, but I'm just saying he was no bad person. But this one thing I think about. When I was 20, let's say 25, 26, I'm listening to the OG telling me stuff about kids. I started hitting 30. I really did nothing stuff with his children.
Right.
So, that's kind of like, when I went to the show years ago about how the hell
Right.
And those kind of things, you sitting there listening like, this man sitting here telling me about stuff.
He has.
He ain't did.
Right.
You younger, you're not processed because what? You got Master Yoda giving you the game. Like, okay, this, that, and that. This is what a man do. This is what a man do. And because you're impressionable by him.
Right.
Right. You listen to him and you think of that. But as you get older, you start learning. You get more experience. You see certain things. You're like, this man ain't did none of the stuff he did.
Right.
And then you start wondering. He asking questions that they can't answer. And then you wondering stuff. Now you tripping. So even if you do have that, that don't necessarily mean that's the best for you to have at that particular time. And life does that to you. As we grow, things that was important to us in our 20s is not in our 30s. Things that important in our 30s, not important in our 40s and 50s, because we grow different. That's just like we get in a relationship, right? You can meet this woman in your 20s, and y'all, reality, like it or not, y'all can grow apart. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was clubbing and everything in your 20s. And now she want to go cruising, and you want to go play bingo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It just
y'all always butting heads.
Yeah, and it just that shit happens.
Right.
Right. No matter what people say, about it, don't want to accept it. That happens. And even with your children, man, you can do this, give them that. They can use it to a certain point, but we, all of us that come to that reality. When they hit that 18, with a legally adult, 18 to 25, when they get out there spreading their wings, they can make that. Now you're not always in a position to well, most of the time at that point, to kind of even do anything with their decision making, right? That's why you have a lot of damn parents with adult children. They want to keep them kind of tied up so they can control their decisions.
Right, control what they do.
I want to make sure you do this because I'm going to pay for this.
Right.
I want to worry about, I want to control what you do with your children.
Right.
So I'm going to continue to get your children and pay for this. Damn that shit. I ain't going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Poochie can tell you right now, who the hell ain't going to do that? I love all 4 of my boys.
Right.
But I can tell you right now without a shadow of a doubt, this ain't no granddaddy daycare.
This ain't going
now. Hell no. That ain't no flex. Y'all come up, we have a good ass time with Paw Paw.
Right.
But shit. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
6 says, Cosby Show was what I wanted. but was what I wanted. My dad wasn't perfect, but he loved him some meat. He was of the dope era, so and I can vouch for that. Six father loved her to death, and I knew it just by you know what I'm saying. You could see it in his face. You know, he might not hug on her, but she don't do that. So you know what I'm saying. So it's like you could tell when a person really loves their children or their child, and he did. So he does. Let's put it that way. So a lot of times, I think that what we do when we get older as adults and we have our children, we try so hard. We try so hard as grown men, especially when we have daughters and stuff like that. Because I had a daughter. I'm going to tell you the experience with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my daughter, when I was raising my daughter, I tried so hard to protect my daughter from the outside world. With me being a man, I knew how men were. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But like you said, when you get to that fork in the road, and my daughter becomes a certain age and gets old and she wants to do her own thing, then what I think that happens with us as Black fathers when it comes to that, we start thinking about what we did wrong. Like, what did I do wrong? Did I, you like you said, you see, Sheila down there, she got 5 degrees and working, working at science, working at this great science company, making $200,000 a year. She only 17 years old, and your daughter out partying all night. You know what I'm saying? You trying to figure out what's going, like you went to military school, you did this, and she just became a Hellcat. And so
you unconsciously comparing,
right? You unconsciously, you ain't doing it out loud.
Yeah,
you doing it in your mind, and we do that all during the growing up stage. We do that all the whole time our children are growing up.
Mm-hmm.
We look at Frank Child getting all A's in kindergarten and spelling his name frontwards and backwards. And here my child is, like you say, eating glue. He's trying to figure out what's going on, what you're not doing wrong. And we gotta give black fathers some credit. It's a lot of pressure being a Black father. It's a lot of pressure trying to make sure, and I'm not giving a pass on that, but a lot of us do go to pressure, and pressure busts pipes sometimes. You got to deal with, the mother may not be the greatest person in the world after y'all get separated, or she may be hell on you while y'all together. And work and children trying to do all that. So a lot of times we have a lot more on us than people realize. Everybody give credit to the mother, but the father has a lot of stuff on them too. And we just don't externalize those things, we internalize them, and then sometimes that's what breaks up the family dynamic
or break your ass up.
Right.
One thing me and you shared, I remember, and I appreciate, because you and Rick were very impactful of me when I was going through my divorce. But when you talk about on the show, like once you got divorced, you like, because you've been so gung-ho in your marriage and your family, you're like, what do I like?
What do I like to do?
And when we start talking about just as like, defining that role or that image of a Black father, we talking about you being a father, you still got your damn career, and you got your personal life.
Right.
Like just shit, because as them kids grow, they grow and do what the hell they want. Right. And you sitting over there like, we got practice no more. Daddy, I'm 30. Yeah. I'm 30, Daddy. What the hell you talking about? We ain't got practice. We ain't going to no tournament. And your ass, you got PTSD because your ass been down basketball and football and tracking for 30 years. You mean, Daddy? Hey, Daddy's still talking about practice. You know what I'm saying? You walk around the house with a whistle.
Right.
You understand the shit. You know what I mean? So we lose ourselves. And I can say this too, man. I can just, say this, and I get this to a lot of young guys, especially the young in marriage. Hey, man, I damn sure with no saint, so I ain't finna sit here and say, I look at my marriage, but I can definitely say that we got so engulfed in our children. There's a lot of shit we didn't continue to do with us.
Mm-hmm.
I was
a saint.
Shit, I ain't gonna say that bullshit.
I was a saint.
But
what happened with us? We got married so young, and we had a family dynamic so early in life that our responsibility to our children encompassed everything that we did.
That's what I mean. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
To each other, to be honest with you, encompassed everything that we did until when the children got older and wasn't around to keep us together, because instead of us looking at each other and arguing about stuff, we got to deal with these children and figure out what they want, because they was very close in age. So once they got older and they was gone, and then you start looking at each other like, I really don't like her. Or she looking at me like, I really don't like him. You know what I'm saying? So those things come into play. Slick says the mother has the kid regardless if the dad is there or not. We get that. We get that, Slick. We ain't talking about black mothers. We talking about black fathers right now.
Yeah. Slick, you need to go on our own channel. Go on our own channel for that. We ain't talking about that, you know. You gotta go on check that out.
Right.
Wrong channel. Nah, man, but just looking at that kind of stuff, balancing that act. Again, we're looking at black father versus society expectations. That those are the emotional and mental. Me and my dogs had conversations, especially like it's a few of us that went through divorces, a few of us that went separations where your kids in a different spot, and even if you co-parent, the shit that your kid may encounter in a 48-hour to a week process or whatever in between can be so damn. And I ain't talking about nothing in regards to trauma. I ain't talking about like they got molested or beat. I'm talking about just bullshit.
Right.
Because I got my way I function. They got their way they function.
Right.
Is my way right and their way wrong? Not necessarily, but completely damn different.
Okay.
And I'm trying to sit here and say, look, I'm on my military shit.
Right.
And then we over here like Kuda Matata. What's going on?
Right.
So, and everything. And you can't get this. Hey, I think, you do what you want to do. And I'm going to do what I want to do.
No.
Now you're sitting there like, okay, daddy tripping, this, that, and that. And it could be vice versa. Mama could be the more rude person, whatever. But you going through those kind of things, and it's stressful as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You start looking at like, again, like sitting up, you worry about this kid gonna look, man, they gonna pass the damn test. They're gonna get out here. I gotta get their ass to graduate. All this other kind of stuff. How the hell I'm paying for this tuition? Man, that shit's a lot.
Before you even get to that point, you when they're younger, okay, they got to go to daycare, or I got to pick them up before they get to daycare because daycare $400 a week. I ain't got that type of money, and then you got 2 or 3 children. You got to put, what I'm saying? So even those dynamics before they even get to going to college and all that, you still got to deal with that because you got to figure out, okay, if I work at night. If I work during the day or she work at night, we got to figure out a way to offset this to where we, what I'm saying? It's a lot of moving parts. And if a dad's going to be in a child's life fully, he's got to be a part of that moving part. He got to be a spigot in that wheel and do what his part is supposed to do.
Yeah. Lab, I'm telling you something I think just was totally not, and I want to address this, and I just thought it was totally effed up, is, when we start talking about these particular things, like from the emotional standpoint and looking at like the stress of worrying about your kids and stuff, one of the biggest things that we start thinking about, black fathers versus society's expectations. And I what I wrestle with, and I've just heard this over the years, it can be from my ex-wife or, just hear from women in general, where people have an image of this is what a man do. And the issue that I always get is, it can be for men or whatever, a man provider, this, that, and that. And I think we know by statistical data, most of y'all ain't seen no damn man. Like, that was always my question.
Right.
When you tell me what a man's supposed to do, whatever, who you seen?
What's your example? Right.
One your dad, one your uncle. Where have you seen that at? Because like
statistical data.
Yeah, just saying. So many times where you hear people have that kind of stuff, what a man should do, what a man should be, and it's men and women. Like a man gonna provide. Did your daddy do that? And this is when you talk to brothers. So my uncle did. Now look, man, you don't really know until you get in that wheel.
Right.
You don't know, and you as a man. You got to already have this, daddy, I'm this rock, right? You got to do it because if you ain't, daddy a punk,
right?
I'm stomping all over him, doing all this other kind of stuff.
Right.
So you got to be right here in the wheel, all that stuff. Well, we're gonna be a talking family. That no, look, somebody got to lead. Now again, you want to be the father, you want the man to be there and everything, but a lot of times that don't necessarily be the case,
right?
But when you start looking at when people have this imagery or whatever. This is what a man's supposed to do. This is what a father's supposed to do. I would say majority of them don't even know it. They never seen it before.
Right.
They hope. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was raised by a man, and I can sit here and tell you My grandfather was a man's man. No nonsense. Straight, you know what I'm saying? Straight, no chasing.
Right.
Didn't give a shit about your feelings. I mean, it wasn't no kind of, you know what I'm saying? You sitting there like whatever. And he's from that era. There were a lot of things to your point earlier that I didn't like what he did. The majority stuff that he did, I love. But to your point, we typically use the stuff we like and also the stuff we know work for us. The funky part about what happened with the stuff that worked for us, it may not work for who? Our children. That's what we had the fucking problems at. Because I might have got my ass whooped. And an ass whooping don't work on my son. I got to sit here and be Dr. Phil. And an ass whooping, I work on my other son. You know, I might just got to give a look. But because it worked for us,
we think it works for all children.
It works for all. And I think that happened to everybody.
I think everybody.
You know what I'm saying? You know?
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. My grandfather never did that. My grandfather just had an aura about him.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about the whooping. I'm just talking about the ways that we like. I mean, cut y'all. But I'm talking about like the things that we liked and also the things that worked for us.
Okay.
Because the stuff we didn't like might have been just the aura.
Right. I think
I want to fuss.
Discipline. I think I've gotten disciplined one time. And even when I got disciplined, it was by my mother. My grandfather told her to stop.
Gotcha.
That was enough. And she hadn't even touched me. But it was just, he just didn't, I don't think he liked it. I don't think he liked that type of discipline.
Gotcha.
And then he came from an era, you know, he was in the army, you know, a little bit more before civil rights, you know, 30s and 40s. So it may have been a case where he had some issue with it, where he had done like that or something, by the man. So he never liked that. He never liked that type of discipline, that corporal punishment stuff.
Gotcha.
And he never did it. Now he'll talk to you, but he was just such a burly man. Like, I could see him taking the whole engine out and setting it on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was just that type of person. So, and he led the house. So I just never had that issue. But to your point, I wasn't really that tight with my children. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, we talking about how things how we got treated when we were children, how we brought that forward to our children. I wasn't that type of person with my children. Now, I did discipline my children, but that wasn't, corporal punishment wasn't the first thing I went to. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That was like the 99th thing. You get what I'm saying? Because that's just not how I was done. And I turned out fine.
Yeah. I've heard that so many times, spare the rod, spoil the child. But it's a lot of kids get the shit beat out of them and it still don't work.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, again, and it's kind of just typically how that goes. It worked for me. Now, like I said, the two things, I didn't like what they did. I didn't like the cussing. And so I ain't gonna cuss my kids. I ain't gonna like the whooping, so I ain't gonna whoop my kids. So I ain't gonna do that. But there were some things that they did do that I did like. You know, I like we ate at the table. I like we went fishing, and so I'm gonna incorporate it. But that doesn't necessarily gonna mean you're gonna transition your children. And I want to say that to say, you know, kind of like what we, you know, probably, you know, ending everything. I want to be straight up with people. Like, guys, when we start again, we're talking about black fathers and sides of expectation. This to all the dads out there. You brothers, I just want to be straight up with you. Don't let society define your role as a father. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. I've heard when I was raising my children as a young father, and I could always hear my granddaddy saying, "Don't let folks in your damn business," talking to other people. You know, hearing shit. Probably shouldn't have been listening to the conversation. But don't let folks in your shit. Folks, you know, you let them in this, they don't have better to say that. And I always hear that. And I always stuck to my guns. I always stuck to my guns. And say my guns were always damn shooting right bullets. But I always stuck to my guns. And I can sit here and say, like, I ain't saying my kids perfect, but I think they turned out okay. So I say this to say, don't let society define your image of what fatherhood is, right? You got to do that. What you do can't be also a term, you know, how you feel other people, you know what I'm saying? What you may want to do that ain't damn working. You got to sit here and just kind of figure it out too.
Right.
Just like our kids gonna have to do it and stuff like that. You know, it ain't, ain't
no secret recipe to it.
No, hell no, because again, every kid is different.
Right.
Right. But I kind of shy away from that whole thing, but this strong black father and all this other kind of stuff, because again, people have the image of what they want a father to be, just like what they want a woman to be, or what they want a man to be. Because a lot of times I heard women say, okay, this is what a man should do, but they never had a damn man.
Right.
Around.
They never had
like, their dad didn't do shit for
right.
them. And they say, well, I think a woman should do that. They know damn well their mama didn't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if you get that from?
Right.
Your mama didn't cook. Your mama didn't do it.
Your mama was barely
Your mama was submissive. Yeah. Mama at Marco's or the San Susie. My mama still online. The Phoenix. My mama would get all them going to the Phoenix and the San Susie. That's the whole Atlanta. Go to Marco's. That was my mama. And inside of my pajamas.
Watching my 13 TV.
Big old flow bottom, big old. I'm down. No.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So we start saying these kind of things about what you imagery or what people want. You gotta just be real with yourself.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That ain't me. But I'm gonna do the best I can with what I have. You know in your heart when you try your best. Sometimes the daddy, shit, we gotta stay up with them. We might gotta miss certain things. You know, because we want to make sure our kids got the best. But also we can't lose ourselves trying to create some shit, you know. And you say, well, Pucha, how do you know if you're doing too much, you ain't doing enough? You don't. You really don't. You don't. But I will say this too. Hold on one second, man. But I will say this too. History will show you if you keep trying and stuff like that. And I'll never be the person to tell nobody to stop, because I know one of my sons had a lot of challenges when he was younger, and he's thriving in college right now. And if I had to just stop
throw your hands
when I damn wanted to,
right,
he wouldn't be where he at right now.
Right.
So I don't want to get in them kind of conversations, telling people and stuff like that. But I will tell people, don't lose you. Don't lose you, because
and it's easy to do.
Shit.
Let me say this. We say this from experience, but that's very easy to do.
Absolutely.
You will disappear in your children. And if you marry, you will disappear in your wife, because their priorities become the number one priority. For most men or black fathers and husbands, that becomes their priority, is their children and their wives. And I'm speaking from experience. Let me get a couple comments before we go. Let's Talk Radio, American Radio says, a solid father can add stability to a child's life. Slick says, my grandson was here and I'm talking to him about SAT tests and things needed to graduate, and he has heard none of this from his mom, you know. So a lot of times I believe what she's saying, it takes grandparents or somebody else to guide the child properly, because the parents may not be doing the right thing.
Absolutely. But see, the thing that is, again, we were talking about this, the black fathers. I just want guys to know, because I think my granddad did a good job. And I think, having both my grandfathers around, my dad wasn't around and everything. I hold nothing against them and stuff like that. And there's some things I think that, that they imparted on me that I think have helped me out over the years. But there's a lot of shit like I had to do totally different. I had to view stuff a lot different. I had to be open-minded with some stuff. I had to educate myself on some stuff. Right. And so that's why I say, like, don't get so caught up into what people think you need to be doing. Beat their ass.
Right.
Or don't take it. That might not work on that kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like real damn talk. And you can see, like, I mean, the shit out of them. This ain't
right. This ain't working.
This ain't working.
Right.
I might gotta scale back on some stuff. I mean, when one of my sons had some issues, I was out there making that money laugh. I was out there making that cheddar.
Right.
But he needed me.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So I had to kind of scale back. Like, look, let me let go of some of this stuff, because in my mind, I'm providing everything for them. But my presence will need.
Your presence will need.
You know, so and I think we'll be kind of honest with ourselves. Like, hey man, this shit I'm doing ain't working. Let me try something different. And be okay with it if you being genuine with yourself, man. But listen, we done had a great show, great conversation tonight. I appreciate all you guys from the bottom of my heart that tuned in. If you come in later, remember, or you came in the middle of the show, you can always go to Changing Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden. Changing Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden. You're looking on TikTok, you can go to the profile, hit the link. You can go to the YouTube channel. If you're looking at it on Instagram, you can hit the just put a Deonte Burden on YouTube, and that'll come up. No direct link on the Instagram, but I know if you're on the Facebook and all the other stuff, you should be links in the description section how to go to the YouTube channel. That way you can see the whole video in its full entirety, along with all the other great videos and stuff we've done. Man, listen, guys, this has been an awesome conversation. I really want to tell you all again, I appreciate you all. I don't even know where we're at numbers wise. I've been so damn swamped with taxes.
I ain't looked at it either.
But I think we close to 20 grand.
Okay.
On Change the Lives, man. I think we close to 20 grand.
Okay.
We knocking it. I don't know where we at and everything. But again, man, I just want to tell everybody I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Y'all take care of yourself. And listen, fellas, listen. If you ain't got none, I'm just saying, pull your ass over. And get that little basket. Like I say, that little basket's gonna have a little, you know, the ones with the Bath and Body, that pink furry handcuffs. You know what I'm saying? Maybe throw a rose up in there.
Some candy.
You gotta do all that stuff. But I ain't talking about the rose as a flower.
Right.
I'm talking about the rose and I can take care of business when you ain't around.
Right.
Have a happy Valentine. Listen, y'all take care, man. Six Red Bones said great show topic. I appreciate it. But I love you all. Y'all be safe out there, and I'll talk with you soon.